Breaking news tonight, eerie leaked jail videos of Bryan Kohberger with bright red hands. Red compared to the rest of his arm. Bright red hands as American Psycho type shirtless selfies emerge on his phone. I'm Nancy Grace. This is Crime Stories. I want to thank you for being with us. Joining me now is Josh Kolsrud, renowned criminal defense attorney, former assistant U.S. attorney, founder of Kolsrud Law Offices. Josh, do your clients ever totally skeeve you out?
Yes, of course. But, I try to remain objective throughout anything. I mean, when I was a prosecutor, we had situations that are very similar to this case as well. And, the most important thing is to remain objective. And when looking at the jail video in particular, the first thing that I think about is that if this video is real, that it's a betrayal of prison security. And if it's not real,
or then my stars, put him up, please. I must see his face as he's saying this. Oh, he kept a straight face. You're telling me Bryan Kohberger had his privacy violated? That's your worry? He's taking screen grabs of Christian Bale, who plays American Psycho, and storing them. He's obsessively reading bedtime stories about serial killers on Christmas night. And the first thing that comes out of your defense attorney mouth is his rights have been violated because somebody's peeked on him as he's shining his shoes again. You said that, right? I'm so happy.
What's concerning to me is that, number one, the victims of this crime, their families, don't want to keep seeing Bryan Kohberger on TV being analyzed and being utilized into a cult-like figure. I mean, people aren't watching this to learn. They're watching it to peek at a monster in a cage. And that says more about us than it says about him.
Okay, first you said his rights were violated. And when I got 3 inches up your tailpipe, you went, oh, erase, Jurassic erase. What I meant to say is that I'm all about the victims' families. And I don't want them to have to look at Kohberger again. So that's your backup argument. I'm asking you about creepy clients. And first you say Kohberger's rights have been violated because I can watch him in his cell. Now you're saying what you meant to say was you were trying to defend the victims.
There are many reasons why this video is disturbing. And it's not just for those two reasons. There's also the idea that even inmates have a right to privacy. And if you just give that up and you strip that away, then we erode the foundation of what our entire system is based on, which is the rule of law, that it's that justice is blind, that we apply the rules equally to everyone. And that's what we're trying to say here. This obsession with seeing Kohberger behind bars, it really does risk quadruple murder into somebody that's a cult-like figure instead of where he belongs, which is forgotten.
Joining us an all-star panel, first to Josh Kolsrud, veteran trial lawyer, joining us out of Phoenix. I find all of the evidence we're learning now to be very probative, specifically as it relates to clearly planning the 4 murders far in advance. There's detailed planning of forethought.
That's true. However, a prosecutor can lose a case in a variety of ways that have nothing to do with a defendant's guilt. So in this case, the FBI used a controversial technique in order to identify who Bryan Kohberger is or was. And that's the investigative genetic genealogy technique, where they would take the DNA found on the knife sheet, and they would create a fake profile on a genealogy website that prohibits law enforcement from doing this kind of behavior. and then they would plug it in and then ask the genealogy website if there are any relatives that are related to the fake profile that they created. And that's what they did in this case. But it doesn't just stop there. They gave the information to the local police, and then they told them not to tell anybody. They told them to keep it a secret and to pretend like they had discovered this information on their own.